If you wanted to do, say, something for your dining room table or your breakfast room table or things like that, I want to definitely show you how to do some stuff in Oasis. Now this is Oasis, and I'm going to pass this around because I want y'all to feel this. Because I have been to people's houses, they will remain nameless, but I've been to people's houses and I've looked at the flower arrangements and I thought, why are they dying? And they have used styrofoam, like green styrofoam that you can buy at the craft store, and tried to stick flowers into it. And it won't hold water. It's not meant for that. And I'm like, no, that doesn't, no, it doesn't soak anything. So I want to pass this around. And I actually want y'all to feel this so y'all know what you're feeling. And you know this is what they call a floral frog or like that kind of thing. So you can feel it and see it. If you've never used it before, it is a completely different animal. I've already pre-soaked some so you can see it changes color. And then it will hold the stems in it. And this is how you will do like an actual arrangement. If you don't find that, if you can't find that, if you aren't comfortable with that, you don't want to use that, this is a great technique. Remember that strapping tape I was showing you earlier? So this is how you can make your own with that strapping tape. This is just any glass vase. I mean, you can use a mason jar, you can use a little tin bucket, you can use, you know what this is? Here's a fun thing. This is from a Febreze candle. I just want to show you can literally use anything around your house. This is a Febreze candle that when it was done burning, I just thought that's a cute little frosted glass. How cute is that? Cute in your bathroom, you know? So what you do is you just take the strapping tape and you make your own grid across the top. And by making your own grid, this gives you an area to plug those flowers into instead of having to use the actual floral erases. And what that's going to do is by being able to take those stems, I'll give you an example. There's no water in this, but by being able to take those stems, it'll hold your flowers up. So you're not going to have to plug into stuff. It's not going to cause them to fall in the middle. You won't have to stuff this vase completely full. You can go get things out of your yard. This is dried hydrangea. I will pass this around. This literally came off my limelight hydrangeas in my backyard. And all I did was I cut it at the end of season. I stuck it down in my basement and I allowed it to dry. There's 1,000 things I can do with this. My other favorite thing that I like to design with, spray paint. Floral designers will tell you, we spray half of stuff with spray paint. Oh yeah, we spray it, man. We will spray it on cardboard and dredge the tips of roses down on the top of it and get gilded roses. We will spray leather leaf, we spray anything. And we let more metallic the better. And last fall, copper, rose gold, that was all the rage. So this was actually a pot I used on my table last fall. I did a copper penny table runner was my whole theme. And I did these running down the middle. And then I took the limelight hydrangeas, sprayed them with copper spray paint. These were from last summer. And I didn't even pay for flowers to go on my centerpiece. You're not stuck to just using fresh flowers. You can intermix stuff. It's as creative as your mind wants to go. All right, so for fun, I'm gonna say let's just whip this bad boy open. We'll just use the one from the grocery, right? And then we may have to add it. We're probably gonna have to add a few pieces in, I think. But we'll show you what would come in one of these. A quintessential bouquet from the grocery store. And why you need to buy more than one. Because you're gonna have, what do we got here? 3 pieces of leather leaf. Yeah, now this is why I went out and basically trimmed everything off my magnolia in the backyard. I love cutting magnolia and putting magnolia into arrangements. That is for me, my #1 greenery. So I always start with greenery first when I'm doing an arrangement. I wanna green up the pot. Again, when I put my oasis in, I put the strapping tape across the top. This is just me because mechanics is #1 when you're doing floral design. I can't help myself. You don't have to do this. It's just I can't. It's a compulsive disorder as a floral designer. I'm like, no, mechanics. But yeah, when you're doing it, you would want to run 1 piece of strapping tape across. You do 2 little cross members here on the sides just to hold it. That way, if my floral teacher ever came in and said, Miss Francis, wherever you're at, God love you. Anyway, came in and said, you did your mechanics well. Anyway, but yeah, in case I had to throw it across the room. because that's what we had to do in my class. We would have to build things, and you had to throw it from one side of the room to the other, and if anything fell out, you failed. Straight up. No, I'm not kidding. That was your class. If you, like, I had to make a bridal bouquet and throw it from the back of the classroom, and if one thing fell out on the floor, you failed. I was like, yeah, no pressure. So anyway, so these came out of my yard. This is just a little bit of magnolia. So I'm just cutting these stems on the magnolia and just putting it in here. Another great tip on greenery, and you can buy this at a lot of different places. This is green glow. This is, a lot of people don't like this. You can use it on houseplants as well. But green glow is what all the floral designers use to make your greenery shiny. I'm not gonna spray it in here because it slicks up everything, and I don't want the person after me to, and if you use this in your house, just don't use it in your house. Just use it outside. Because it makes everything slick. It'll make your greenery slick, it'll make your florist slick, but it makes it real pretty and shiny. And that's what makes all that, your plants, your house plants, if you want to kind of polish it in. It's really pretty, makes everything very pretty and shiny. So anyways, you want to green up your arrangement first and put your greenery around the base, which this is just going to cover up, like I said, the mechanics of your arrangement. And all I'm really doing is just kind of covering the base of the vessel, giving you a kind of a smattering of, here's your greenery. So we kind of got a basis of greens just kind of going around the edge. So next you kind of want to do is like some focal flowers. If you get your roses and they're really, really tight, which happens a lot, sometimes you'll buy them and they're like really, really tight. I call them Hershey Kiss roses when they're kind of up like this. If you remove those outside petals, like what I was talking about, you can kind of, this is going to be horrible on all the microphones, sorry. You want to kind of like blow, like up inside them. You want to kind of blow up in there and just sort of open them up. Get them to open like that. You know, eventually once you hydrate them, they're going to open up and they're going to be gorgeous like this. This is just a basic regular rose. This isn't even a garden rose. This isn't even like a peony or anything special in David Austin. This is just a basic rose that's been hydrated properly. When you do a centerpiece for a table, and see, here's the other thing. You notice I cut that. I could actually use that piece of greenery right there. You don't want to ever like throw anything away, especially when you're using the grocery store stuff. That's a great piece of rose greenery that you can just take and pop in there. That's how you get those pretty garden designs you see, where they look like you just went out in the yard and picked them. So like I'm cutting, again, on the angle right here, got that piece of that rose coming out, kept that piece right here with that greenery, and just pop that greenery right up in there. And now I've got, you know, two things out of one stem of roses. But you notice I'm having to use additional roses to fill this. This is not all coming from that one, there's no way. 3 roses, that would have not done anything for me. Not at all. So, but yeah, when you're doing a centerpiece for a table, you really don't want it to be ginormously high. The idea is you want your guests to be able to, if they're sitting at a table, you want them to be able to look over it. You want some lower candles. You want them to be able to talk over it. You want that to happen. So you want to keep that in mind, especially if you're doing a conversational dinner kind of thing. And you also want it to be pretty from all sides. So you're going to want to kind of create that in a round, you know? So you want to kind of make sure you're getting all the pieces so that you can see it all the way around. So we had 2 pieces of hypericum in this. So if you only had 2, I would say make sure you're getting a piece on either side. Or you can divide it like that one. I missed that little piece. So he'll just go right up in there. But don't leave anything behind. If you're leaving anything behind, it should just be the stems. And even the stems, you can really just, you could do something fun with that if you really wanted to. I mean, if you want to get creative, you could take the stems and spray paint them a funky color and have them sticking out. So when you get into carnations, I always say carnations are a flower that don't even know they're alive. That's why you always see them at restaurants. You always see them in bud vases. Carnations, Ostromeria, these are going to be flowers that will last forever. They are, I call them the workhorses in the flower world. They will just last forever and ever and ever and ever. They use up a lot of space. So you definitely, want to kind of save those to the end. Where have I got a huge hole? What do I need to fill? Same with these. Now these you can actually divvy down. Like here, you can cut them. Like I can take that little piece out and divvied it down. And look, those two went there. Well, guess what? That's still my one stem. Okay, I can cut that piece. Okay, I got this out of here now. That one can go over here. He's a little longer. All right, I've still got these two. Well, guess what? That can be one, and he can go here, and that can be one, and he can go here. But see, that was one stem, and I just got, 4 different pieces of it out of it? So that's how you can really divvy them down instead of it being one single stem of something. So you can really turn it into a huge arrangement. It's a matter of cutting them down, not being afraid to cut them down into pieces, not being afraid to, but you have to have, again, this is because I'm using the Oasis.